Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam. If you want to know a very short, most briefest history of Shankaracharya, the author of this text, then it is like this. Ashtame Chaturo Veda. Dvadashe Sarvashastravit. Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam. Dvatrimshe Munihi Abhyagat. What did you say, Swamiji? Ashtame. Ashtame, 8. At the age of 8. Chaturo Vedaha. He mastered all the 4 Vedas. Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. In other words, he could recite all the 4 Vedas. That's what it means. At the age of 8, he gained the ability, he gained the mastery over the 4 Vedic corpus, which is the basis of the entire knowledge systems of this land. When we think of Vedas, we usually think Veda is some kind of spiritual, some kind of ritual. But really speaking, Veda, the word Veda means knowledge. It comes from the root vid, which means to know. So Veda is the foundation of all the Indian knowledge systems. Vedokilo dharma moolam. When we say dharma, now dharma is pravritti dharma, nivritti dharma. Pravritti dharma is field of action. Nivritti dharma is field of dedication to the highest pursuit of God realization. Nivritti means withdrawal. Withdrawal means what? Withdrawal means you dedicate yourself for one particular cause. That's called withdrawal. It's not withdrawal and you go to sleep. That's not the meaning of it. So Vedokilo dharma moolam, meaning what? The Veda gives the entire knowledge required for action as well as dedication or renunciation, if you want to say. Withdrawal. So Ashtame Chaturo Vedaha. And then Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit. Dvadasha is 12. Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit. Shastra means what? Like like if you want present day times, we want to say physics is a Shastra. Shastra means a systematic field of knowledge. That's called Shastra. Systematic. There is a system about it. When system about it means what? First there is a basic, then you go to little more, then you go to advanced, then you go to higher. Meaning knowledge is slowly unfolded, and then all aspects of that particular subject is contained. Then it is called Shastra. All aspects. So Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit, meaning all fields of knowledge, he mastered. Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit. When? Dvadashe. Not one field of Shastra. All field of Shastras available of his times. Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam. Shodasha is 16. Kritavan Bhashyam. Bhashyam, commentary. There are three important or basic foundational treatises of the Vedanta. In Veda, the end portion which deals with philosophy is called Vedanta. Veda Anta. Anta is end. So philosophical portion. The Veda has got these two portions. The portion which deals with action and the portion which deals with philosophy. It's not that action does not have a philosophy. Action also has a philosophy. When we say philosophy, what we mean is that subjective philosophy. One is philosophy with respect to the external world of objects. So you have various philosophies. Now you come to subjective philosophy. Who am I? Adhyatma Shastra. So for this there are three basic treatises. One is the Upanishad. Another is the Bhagavad Gita. And third is the Brahma Sutra. These are called as Prasthanatraya. The three foundational treatises. Traya, three, the triad, Prasthana, the foundational. So on these three, which are very subtle, very abstruse, very deep, very profound, and sometimes you don't make sense. He wrote commentaries so that all these knowledge becomes understandable for all. Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam. So that is how in the tradition Shankaracharya is called Bhashyakara, meaning the one who wrote the Bhashyas. Many times they won't even call Shankaracharya, they'll say Bhashyakar said it as an authority. Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam. So from the age of 16, then what happened? Dvatrimshe. Trimsha is 30. Dvatrimsha is 32. Dvatrimshe Munihi Abhyagat. At the age of 32, he finished his life journey. He completed all the life tasks. So from the age of 16 to age of 32, what he did, after writing those commentaries, he shared the knowledge of Vedanta throughout the length and breadth of the nation. At the time when we say nation, it is not the broken India what we have now, which somewhat people try to still more break. It's not a broken India. It is the extended, expanded, actual true nation. From Gandhara Desha to Airavatapura. Gandhara Desha is present day Afghanistan. Kandahar, Gandharapura, that is Gandhara. So you have Gandhari, wife of Dhritarashtra. Gandhara Desha. Airavatapura, present day Burma. So that extended nation, he traveled the length and breadth of the nation sharing the knowledge. So he was a missionary of knowledge. He was a missionary of Vedanta. He was a missionary of self-knowledge. He was a person who shared knowledge with one and all. And then Dvatrimshe Munihi Abhyagat. He completed his life journey. So can you repeat this verse? Or I will say, you repeat after me, okay? Ashtame Chaturo Veda Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam Dvatrimshe Munirabhyagat Ashtame Chaturo Veda Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam Dvatrimshe Munirabhyagat. Let's say you can put it and then share with all of them in the group. So anyone wants to know the briefest, shortest life summary of Adi Shankaracharya? Ashtame Chaturo Veda Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam Dvatrimshe Munirabhyagat. Capsule. Every shloka is a capsule. Contains everything. So here we had a capsule for the whole of life. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshate Dukring Karane. In being busy with so many activities, in being busy with gaining so many kinds of knowledge, do not forget the most important knowledge, because this knowledge liberates you. This knowledge takes you beyond the individuality. As long as one is an individual, then one will have to face the consequences of being an individual. And the consequences of being an individual are what? First, you feel a sense of limitation. And from this limitation, incompleteness, comes the wish to become complete. That wish to become complete is called desire. And when you become an individual, there is also the individual and the world. And the wish to complete yourself expresses as desire. And desire leads to action. Action can be good or bad. And based on good or bad action, action also gives its results. The results of good action expresses as joy, happiness. The results of bad action gives results of sorrow. And to reap this joy and sorrow, both joy and sorrow, one takes rebirth. And this cycle goes on and on, which is called as samsara. And therefore, whatever we do, we should not forget the most important thing we have to do in the human life. And what is it? To understand who one is. And what is the nature of the final understanding? That I am not an individual. I am not one of the many. Whereas my real nature, if the wave were to say, my real nature is what? H2O. I am not the wave. The wave can be broken. There can be a bigger wave, there can be a smaller wave. Yes, but who am I? If the wave were to ask, the wave will have to tell itself, I am water, I am H2O. And when the wave understands its real nature to be H2O, then the wave can understand it is one with the other wave also. Because other wave is also what? H2O. There can be a large wave, that is also H2O. There can be a very small, tiny bit, that is also H2O. There can also be a bubble, which is also H2O. In finding its real nature, the wave has found its oneness with the whole ocean. In the same way, you find who you are, then you will understand you are one with the other person also. You're not even one with the other person, you are one with the mountains. You are one with the rivers. You are one with the trees. You are one with the stars. You may listen to me and think, what is this Swamiji telling? One with the stars. But really speaking, find your nature. This is not something, yes, it has to be an intellectual pursuit, but then afterwards it has to become an experiential pursuit. From jnana it has to go to vijnana. And only then there is liberation from the sense of individuality. First one has to understand why one is not an individual, how one is not an individual. Then one has to come to the experience one's oneness with the entirety. And those who have understood this oneness, experienced this oneness, they are called the jnanis. So Shankaracharya is telling, Bhashyakar is telling, this elderly man, and through that man to all of us, what? Try to find out who you are. Nahi nahi rakshati dukrinkarane. That dukrinkarane is grammar, but grammar is any knowledge, and any knowledge is not just knowledge. With every knowledge we accomplish something. That accomplishment, that is also included. Knowledge can enable an action. Action can enable an accomplishment. So knowledge, action, accomplishment, all of them can be limited. All of them can be limited. Their purpose can be finite. Their purpose can be only limited to something. Whereas, once you recognize who you are, you have found the very purpose of your existence. You have put an end to the sense of individuality. I am a wave. No. As H2O, you are not wave. As H2O, you are the whole ocean. Once you put an end to your sense of individuality, the sense of incompleteness ends. When incompleteness ends, duality, I and you, me and the world, that distinction, that duality ends, that dichotomy ends, that two-ness ends. And when that sense of variety, difference, distinction, all ceases, and you see your oneness with the totality, then you are no more an individual. There is no more incompleteness. There is no more unfulfilled wishes and wants. And in that completeness, there is an end of samsara. This is what Shankaracharya tells. Tells whom? This old man. And we are also old men. Swamiji, what are you talking? Don't think that from birth to death is your age. We have been going through this life of birth and death for eons. We are all too old. It's time to wake up. We have been sleeping for too long. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Alright? But we can't take up this. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Meaning, what do you mean? 3 times. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. From the level of your actions, offer it as worship to God. From your heart, have devotion to the higher truth. And from your intellect, see and discover and find your true nature. So use all your capacities. The faculty of your intelligence, the faculty of your emotions, and the faculty of your action in the pursuit of this God realization. Swamiji, if I do this, then what will happen to all my work? No. Work you offer as worship to God. Right? Everything will happen. But everything will happen in the right direction, for the right purpose. Nothing is going to change. Only the intention is going to change. The goal is going to change. So far, so long, all our goal is selfish. For me, because we are individual. And when we are individual, everything is for me. I love you for my happiness. I give you something so that you are my friend. I smile at you, why? You will smile back. Everything I do is for me. Why? We are individual. Now here, all that you do, you dedicate for a greater purpose. And performing actions this way dedicated to the higher principle, termed in religion as God and termed in philosophy as reality, and termed in different religions in different names. But the truth is one. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. That is a Rigvedic statement. Truth is one. Reality is one. The wise call it by various names. And fools fight on those names. And find the truth. To find the truth, you dedicate your life and move forward. But this will not be possible as long as mind has attachments here and there. Attachment is what? What is attachment? Attachment is, Swamiji, love. Do you think it is attachment is love? Love is pure. Attachment is love plus I want. In fact, it is business. If love is pure, attachment is that love with an expectation. I want is there. In love, you have freedom. You have freedom, the other person also has freedom. In attachment, you bind yourself and want to make the other person a slave for you. Even though we may not say all those things loudly, but this is what is happening psychologically. Example, I am attached to my dog. Swamiji, why you are bringing dog every time? Nothing, example only. I can be attached to cat also. Or anything also. Let's say for example, I am attached to my dog. Okay? Why I am attached to my dog? Oh, my dog is so loving. And I am attached to the dog because it gives me something. What does it give me? It poor thing. It does not give me anything. No, every time I give it something, it wags its tail, it comes to me. When I come, it jumps to me with lots of love. All those things. Now I am attached to human being. I expect the same thing. I want from the person something. If the person is not responding to my love, I am dismissive of that person and find a better person who is responsive to me. Attachment is sustained by fulfilling, by being fulfilled. Love is sustained selflessly. That is the difference. So as long as we have attachments, the mind is not free to dedicate itself for higher purposes. As long as attachments are there, our life is clouded by imaginations, and every attachment is a delusion. And this is Moha Mudgara. So Shankaracharya shatters all delusions. What is the attachment he takes up for shattering? The attachment he takes up is wealth. Now when we say wealth, what do we mean? We have a sense of comfort and security with wealth. I have wealth, I feel safe, I feel secure, I feel that I get what I want. I can get what I want. Now he takes it up that let us study. We are now in verse number 2, right? Mudajahi dhanag. We have studied, right? Can we chant together? Mudajahi
Dhanagamatrishnam Kuru Sadbuddhim Manasi Vitrishnam Yallabhase Nijakaramopatam Vittam Tena Vinodaya Chittam
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Dam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrin Karane. He starts by saying Muda. Muda means, oh deluded fool. Hey Muda. From this verse, the next 12 verses, these 12 verses are composed by Shankaracharya. These 12 verses. And the next 14 verses are composed by each one of his Shishyas. You remember I was telling you? Shankaracharya with his 14 disciples were going. So 12 verses here, Shankaracharya. So these 12 verses are called Dvadasha Manjarika Stotram. Manjarika means what? See, sometimes when you have these flowers, there is something called as many flowers together will be there. It's called as inflorescence. Have you? Bouquet is when you have many flowers put together. That is also you can call. But sometimes you will find flowers themselves has got many flowers within. Okay? In English they call inflorescence. Inflorescence. One flower, big flower. That many small flowers will be there. You will find sometimes some flowers are like that. They called as manjarika. A cluster of flowers, a bouquet of flowers, if you want, you can say. No problem. Dvadasha manjarika. Usually this manjarika, this word is used for text and all. From textbooks and all, they give this name manjarika, manjari. All those words you will find. In Sanskrit they use these expressions. So, Dvadasha manjarika stotra. The next 14 are called as Chaturdasha Manjarika Stotra. So 12 and 14. And then you have, at the end of it, Shankaracharya, 4 more verses he composes. That is how they are saying. I have not asked Shankaracharya about all those things. Many, who knows what happened when. They say like that. And we go by that also. Last 4 verses are said to be composed by Shankaracharya. Then you have total how many? 30. And to that you add the first one. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Thus it becomes 31 verses. This is the structure of the text. Muda, fool. Jahihi, give up. Give up what? Dhana, wealth, give up wealth. And then how will you travel? Swamiji, government have sponsored my travel. Without wealth, what can you do? That's not the point. India is a producer of wealth. So much wealth we produce that people used to come to attack India for wealth. And how many times they have come, taken wealth, and still we produced wealth. So next year again they came to attack. So much of wealth. India is India is a producing country. All our gods and goddesses are decked with wealth. We have a goddess for wealth. Right? So please don't think Mudajahi. Now see carefully, it is not Dana what is said there. Dhanagama. Agama means what? Earning wealth or coming of wealth. Swamiji, what is the difference? No. Look at the next word properly. Dhanagama Trishnam. Trishna means a deep craving. Trishna means a deep craving. That Trishna can be for God also. Like how the Gopikas had Trishna for Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Gopis. So Trishna is uncontrollable, insatiable desire. That desire is overpowering. It will not leave you alone. It is a deep desire. It's a blinding desire. It's a desire which makes you forget everything and focus on that and that alone. Hey Mudha. In case somebody has, not everybody should be having that. Hey Mudha, Jahihi, give up, Dhanagama Trishnam, give up this insatiable thirst for wealth and possession. Wealth is only a means. There are some people who want wealth for wealth's sake. Those people are called misers. They have only wealth they are interested. But they don't want to spend the wealth. But that is a psychological problem. We're not talking of that. We're talking of wealth in the sense that which gives us a sense of what? Security. And through wealth, we gain possessions. So when say wealth here, it stands for wealth and possessions. Give up the insatiable thirst for wealth and possessions. Mudha jahihi dhanagama trishnam. There is no question of giving up wealth. Why there is no question of giving up wealth? Because wealth is not yours. Wealth is not yours. Wealth belongs to the society. Whatever wealth you earn, that is meant for sharing with others also. Because wealth you cannot produce. Many people join together and help you to produce wealth. And therefore, it belongs to the all. There are some people whom you may not see, but they are helping you produce your wealth. If you are not eating your food, you can't work. And the farmer is working somewhere. You may not even know who that farmer is. But you have wheat, you have your rice, you eat it. You have vegetables, you have fruits, you eat it. But who is producing where? And even the farmer is not producing wealth or food. Why? Because the food he is creating is coming from greater sources. Water. Farmer did not produce water. Sun, light. This was not produced by any human being. Air. This was not produced by any human being. And therefore the wealth you create belongs to the society. You don't have complete authority over the wealth you produce because you have not produced it. And therefore it is said in the Shastra, the wise man's wealth is a blessing to the whole universe. It is like a well, they say. It is like a well. It's like a village well. That well belongs to all. A wise man's wealth is that way. There are very few producers of wealth. Most of the people are consumers of wealth. There are very few entrepreneurs who can create wealth. Many others, they work and labor and get their salary. But few are the producers of wealth. And if those producers of wealth were to stop producing wealth, listening to Mudha Jahihi, incompletely reading the text, then India will suffer. The nation will suffer, the world will suffer, the family will suffer. It's not that. We have somehow got a wrong picture about wealth. India is a nation which supports the generation of wealth. And we are very happy that now we are, what is our GDP? We are fourth, is it not? We are fourth, fifth. And we took over the country which was looting from our country for so many centuries. India is growing strongly forward, let it go forward. And we are happy and we contribute for it in our own way, right? But what should be dropped? The Trishna should be dropped. Not Trishna for God. If you have Trishna for God, that is good. But if you want to get Trishna for God, then what you do? You take away your Trishna for lower things. Yes, all of us need wealth, but don't have Trishna for it. Don't have Trishna for it means what? Don't let your mind not become possessed with that. Let the mind have the freedom to engage in activities required for your unfoldment, for your upliftment. If wealth is alone the focus, relationships, everything can collapse. Modajahi dhanagam trishna. And when you free your mind from its covetousness, when you free your mind from its excessive greed, when you free the mind which has got immense potential but which is all locked up in one particular desire, suddenly you get the objectivity to see higher things, to work for greater things. Kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam. Manasi vitrishnam. Vitrishnam means what? Trishna, and then opposite is vitrishna. Trishna is that craving. Vitrishna is what? Vigata. In Sanskrit, that upasarga or prefix vi can either exemplify it or negate it. Exemplify. It can exemplify means what? It can expand it. For example, mudha is there, right? Mudha is what? Delusion, deluded. Vimudha, extremely deluded. So that we can exemplify. Or we can act the opposite. For example here, vitrishna, raga, craving, viraga, no craving. You can negate it. Vitrishna. So that mind which is focused fully on that, try to take it out of it. Try to take it a little out of it. Take it out. Vigata, take it out. Don't be preoccupied with wealth. Don't do that. Be occupied. Don't be preoccupied. Work for it. Nobody says no. But don't work for it at the cost of everything in your life. Don't do that. When I'm saying this, I'm remembering a very beautiful, instance in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you have Yajnavalkya, a great rishi, a great teacher. He was a teacher for King Janaka also. He had two wives. One is Maitreyi, another is Katyayani. He had two wives. He has done sufficient in his life. He ran a Gurukula for long, achieved all that he wanted to achieve. Now he wanted to totally focus on spiritual pursuit and abide in that spiritual knowledge. A Grasta who has done all his duties. So he calls his wives and he says to both of them, "My dear ones, I am going to renounce the Grahastha ashrama. So much wealth we have collected in our course of our life." He was a great man, running many Gurukulas and sharing knowledge and all. So I have done whatever is required. Before I go, I want to divide the property equally to both of you and go. Please give me permission. If a man wants to renounce, then he has to take permission from his wife if he is married. Otherwise, he has to take permission from his mother if he is not married. Right? So this is the tradition. So he is asking his wives. The other wife is okay. Of course, nobody said you don't go, you stay back. The other wife, my Katyayani said okay, she did not have any issue about it. Maitreyi asked a question. Said, you are going to give up this wealth and go somewhere. That means what? There is something greater than this, correct? Greater than this, that you are looking for. If you give me all the wealth and make this land filled with wealth and give that land with wealth to me, is that going to fulfill me? Which fulfillment you are seeking and therefore you are going? Please tell me, is that going to fulfill me? Yajnavalkya replies to Maitreyi, no my dear, you must be seeing many rich people in this world. You will be like that one of them. You will have the means for comfort, like many others. Then she says, if I am not going to be fulfilled by that, and if you are going for something for a greater fulfillment, please give me that by which one can become fulfilled. Yena amrita nasyam kim aham tena kuryam yadeva bhagavan veda tadeva me bruhi. Please give me that wealth which can make me fulfilled. And then she says very beautifully, not exactly there in the Upanishad, but one of the writers says, na adihi, na antaha, na madhyam va. Yasya vittasya vidyate. Give me that wealth which has no beginning, which has no middle, and no end. Bhoge na cha kshayam yati. Give me that wealth which does not deplete when you use it. Tadeva vasudhiyatam. Give me that wealth. And then Yajnavalkya, he becomes so pleased with Maitreyi and then gives to Maitreyi that Atma Vidya. Atma vare drashtavya. Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavya. Maitreyi, I shall teach you the knowledge of the self. Listen to it carefully. I shall teach you the knowledge of self means what? It is like telling the wave, I shall teach you who you are. Today you think you are a wave. And therefore when you look at a big wave, you think, I am a small wave. I have to become big like this. And no wave is going to be big forever. The wave will also have birth. The wave will also have growth. The wave will also have decay. The wave will also have death. But the wave has H2O. Has no birth. Has no growth. Has no decay. Has no death. Is it not? Every body has got birth. It has got growth. It has decay and it will end. But everybody, not body, everybody, in true nature, in our true nature, as pure existence, as pure consciousness, as pure bliss, is free of all these limitations. And Yajnavalkya teaches this self-knowledge to Maitreyi. That is how you have that famous section in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yajnavalkya Maitreyi Samvada. It's a beautiful portion. So, take your mind, free your mind. Create space in your mind for higher things. Kuru Sat Buddhim. Kuru Sat Buddhim means what? Let your buddhi gravitate towards the Sat existence, towards the reality. Let your buddhi gravitate. There are higher purposes to be gained. Don't limit yourself only with the pursuit of wealth, because finally what it will give you is only perishable, is only finite. is only endable things. Put your mind towards endless matters, higher matters, which will give you lasting results. Kuru Sat Buddhim. Let your buddhi turn towards Sat, turn towards reality, turns towards your nature. May you discover yourself as Sat Chit Ananda. Take up this path to self-discovery. Then what about work? What about my wealth? I need it for sustenance, survival, all the things I want to do. Without wealth, I won't be even having a dress to wear. Wealth required, right? Yallabase nija karmopatam. Yallabase, whatever you get. Nija karma by your natural actions. Nija karma, swabhava karma. Each one of us have a swabhava. Each one of our nature. One person is very good in studying and sharing knowledge. Another person is very good in administering. Another person is capable of generating for oneself and for the nation wealth and produce. Another person is good in art. Another person is good in... Each person has got different skills, different talents, different capacities, different inclinations, and we are good in that. Use that. Don't look at the other person. Oh, he is working in that, and he's software engineer, and therefore is earning. How much is earning, you see? Whereas who am I? I am only interested in art. What will I get with this art? Nothing I will get. Don't you think like that? What you require, you will get. No bird has gone hungry in this world. It has not taken any job. Swamiji, what are you advising me? No. I'm saying, you don't worry. All that you require is with you. You have sufficient for all your needs. Maybe you don't have for your greed, but you will have for your need. Mahatma Gandhi says beautifully, there is everything in this world for every man's need, but not for one man's greed. Nija karma. You find out what is your passion. And employ your passion, employ your action as an offering of your worship to God. Don't make it something for your individuality. It will come. Any action you do will have its results. The results will come. Results will benefit you. But make that action also your sadhana, your spiritual pursuit. Swamiji, how can I make action as my spiritual pursuit? Suppose whatever profession you are. Let's say, for example, one is in the profession of teaching, let us say. Then look at teaching as worship of God. Yes, you are going to temple. I'm not saying stop that. Go to the temple, worship. But why do you limit your worship only to temple? Why do you limit your sadhana only to your morning japa? Look at everyone as an embodiment, as a personification, as a manifestation of God playing hide and seek. In a drama you will find, is it not? People acting. But people are acting. So one person goes and beats up the other person. It's a drama. Right? Live your life like a drama. Like a drama. Don't be too serious. Swamiji, if I'm too serious, I will lose. No. You'll do better. You'll do better. You'll have that anxiety-free, completely available mind which can perform well. And then dedicate that as offering of worship to God. Say, Lord, this is my worship to you. What do I seek, Lord? I seek you. Whatever will come out of that action will come. But keep your mind on higher things. Sadbuddhim. Yellabase nija karmopatam. Nija karma, swabhava karma, natural karma. Upata, what you gain. Vittam tena, by that wealth. Vinodaya chittam. Let your mind entertain itself. Be pleased. Let your mind cherish that. Right? So your field of action, devote yourself for that without looking here and there who is doing what. And in that field of action, express yourself fully. And you will see for yourself, when you express the perfection in you, how much wealth you will get. Enormous wealth. But let that not be your intention. Your intention should be breaking the bondage of life and death. Swamiji, what is problem with taking birth, Swamiji? Why are you again and again saying life and cycle of birth and death, cycle of birth and death? No problem. You can be born again go to school and study. A, B, C, D, keep study. And be frightened for the mathematics exam which is going to come. And again take bit notes. Again, same thing. Again. Swamiji, I am not bored. I am ready. Go if you want. I am not going to go. I am not going to go again and sit in my school. Meaning, break that individuality, break that sense of limitation, break that sense of I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Cha, 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 cha. One day at least you say, I want nothing, I am happy. Say that. Forget about cycle of birth and death. Be fulfilled. Find your true nature. Okay? Moodhajahi dhanagama trishnam kurusad buddhim manasi vitrishnam yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate Samprapte Sannihite Kale Nahi Rakshati Dukrinkarane Nahi Rakshati Dukrinkarane. Now he took up our attachment to wealth. The next verse, he takes up our attachment to the opposite other gender. That's another preoccupation. Man is preoccupied with woman, woman is preoccupied with man. Making the mind free of it. Only when you make your mind free, you can devote yourself for higher pursuits. The mind cannot attach to somewhere without detaching from somewhere. And the mind cannot detach from somewhere unless it attaches to somewhere. This attachment, detachment has to happen. Like how if you want to climb on the ladder, you have to take your leg up and give up the lower. Then only you climb up. In the same way, to rise higher in life, to think of nobler things in life, to go towards the important pursuits of life, we have to free the mind from its lower attachments. Okay, we'll take it up in the next session. Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.